Hey guys, just the other day, American Express made some major changes to their very popular Gold Card. So I want to talk about what those changes are, what they could mean for you, and then also why I'm applying for it, as well as showing you all the whole application process. This is the first refresh to this card that we've seen since 2018, and with that comes some pretty major changes. If we head over to their website, the first major change we will see, and what will definitely be the most controversial, is that Amex increased the annual fee from $250 to $325, meaning a $75 or 30% increase over the previous version of the card. This obviously isn't ideal, but was always going to happen with this refresh, and the question was more, what would be the changes to the other aspects of the card that justify an increase to the annual fee? Something to note, if you're a current cardholder and your annual fee hits prior to October 1st, 2024, you will still get the old $250 annual fee. This isn't the case for new cardholders, and as of now, if you apply, you will be paying the $325 annual fee. The next thing we can see here is that there's a new limited time offer of 100,000 membership rewards points after spending $6,000 in the first 6 months, and you receive 20% back in statement credits on eligible purchases made at restaurants worldwide within the first 6 months of card membership, up to $100 back. This is an all-time high offer, which makes this card super appealing, at least in year one. On the low end, these points are valued at $1,000 when using the Amex portal, but can easily be $2,000 plus if you transfer out to one of Amex's transfer partners. As you can see here, it does say this offer ends on November 6th, so if you want it, you need to act within the next couple months. When you first go to the Amex website, you might not see this exact offer. You might see something lower, like 60,000, 75,000, or 90,000 membership rewards points. But I would put in the effort to find this 100K offer right here. You can do this by opening up the website in incognito mode, heading over and using cardmatch.com, or trying a different browser. Now, another noticeable change is the new card design. For the first time, American Express is offering a white gold version of the card. If you want, you can still choose the older gold and rose gold card designs, so if you aren't a fan of this new color, then don't worry. However, this new white gold card design is limited edition and will only be around while supplies last, so if you think you might want it, I would grab it right now. Notably, current cardholders can also get this new design by requesting a new card through either their online account or the American Express app. And for what it's worth, I personally think that this is a great card design, and it will be the choice I make later when I apply for the card. The design obviously has no added benefit other than just looking cool, but it's a nice touch regardless. Now, moving on down the page, we see the refreshed earning categories. There's still 4x back on restaurants, however, it is now capped at up to $50,000 in purchases a year. For most regular people like me, this won't have any effect, but likely they made this change to limit people who are spending big money on things like business meals, where it's not uncommon to spend over $1,000 a meal to wine and dine clients. As I said, personally this won't affect me, and I spend a decent amount of money in the restaurant category, so this is a great multiplier in my eyes. Moving on, there's no change to the 4x multiplier on grocery stores, which is still capped at $25,000 in spend a year. Nor is there a change to the 3x on flights, booked directly with the airline or on Amex Travel. A new category has been introduced which offers 2x back on prepaid hotels and other purchases made through the Amex Travel portal. And finally, there's also 1x back on all their purchases, which is pretty standard. Overall, these are great spending multipliers, and part of what has made this card so popular in the past. If you move on down the page some more, we get to the updated credits, and this is where some of the controversy might be. With this card, we're still going to get our $10 of monthly Uber/Uber Eats credits. Notably, these are use it or lose it credits, so if you don't use it in the current month, you can't stack it for $20 next month. Next, we see the new $84 Dunkin' credit, which is split up into $7 monthly credits that function in the same way I just described for Uber. This is a credit that is creating a lot of buzz because some people find it to be missing the mark, and they don't know if the credit matches the profile of the card user. I think some people who like Dunkin' Donuts or their coffee will really enjoy this credit, but outside of that, I'm not sure it really moves the needle for anybody else. Luckily, in most big American cities, you can find a Dunkin' location, which means for most people, it shouldn't be too hard to use. Next to it, we also see the new $100 Resi credit, which is split semi-annually in $50 credits. Resi is a service owned by American Express that allows you to get reservations at restaurants curated by the platform. Depending on where you live, this may or may not be really easy to use. If you live in a big metropolitan area like New York City or LA, there should be plenty of options on the website that you would find the credit useful for something like date night. However, if you live in a smaller town, you may find this credit really hard to use and it doesn't really add any value for you. And then the final credit we see is the dining credit that has been around a while. However, it has changed up a bit as they removed Shake Shack and Milk Bar and added Five Guys to the list of restaurants that it applies to. Now that we've gone over all the changes, I'm going to share why I've decided I'm going to apply for this card now. Fully transparently, the main reason I want this card is for the 100,000 point welcome offer. Part of my credit card strategy is signing up to get new bonuses and then using those large bonuses to travel. In this case, I hope to use these points for business class flights using one of the AMEX transfer partners. Now, obviously this welcome offer only provides value in year 1 of card ownership, so let's look forward to how much value I think I can get out of the credits. Personally, I value the $120 Uber credit at full value and the $120 dining credit at roughly $80 in value. This is because I plan on using them for Uber Eats and Grubhub respectively, and choosing the pickup at location option to avoid delivery fees. However, I have noticed in my area, even when picking up at the location, Grubhub does seem to have a markup at the restaurants I will use it at, so it doesn't provide me the full $120 in value. In reality, the $10 credit might save me more like $6 or $7 after taking into account the markup. I also value the Resi credit at the full $100, and I plan on using that to try out new restaurants in the area. I do plan on using the Dunkin' credit, but because I don't usually eat/grab drinks at Dunkin', I'm going to value the credit at $0 because I wouldn't actually be spending there if it weren't for the credit. With that in mind, I expect to get roughly $300 in value from the credits, leaving me with an effective annual fee of $25. I think that I would likely keep this card if I can reduce the effective annual fee to that level, but we'll have to see how my spending habits play out over the course of this year, and I will reevaluate at year 2 if the card is still providing me with enough value. As you can see, there is a lot of analyzing and effective use of the credits necessary to get value out of this card. So obviously, this card isn't for everyone, especially when there are no annual fee options out there like the Capital One Saver one that offer 3x back on dining in restaurants. If you don't like the thought of using a coupon book, I would avoid this card in the long term. However, there still is an argument for it if you're like me and want to hop on the 100,000 point welcome offer and then possibly canceling in year 2. You could get so much value out of those points that it will far outweigh the annual fee in year 1. So needless to say, your mileage may vary and you should crunch the numbers yourself to see if this card provides you with enough value. For reference, here are my data points before applying. I have a 750 credit score and 4 hard inquiries with Experian. Then my Credit Karma shows my Vantage score at 774 with TransUnion with 0 hard inquiries, and 774 with Equifax with 0 hard inquiries. This will also be my first American Express card, and the first credit card since May 2nd that I've applied for. With that, let's jump into the actual application process. Something that is cool is that American Express allows you to apply with confidence, which means you can see if you're approved for the card before they pull your credit report. This means in the case you are denied, you won't have a hard inquiry hit your credit score. So with that, I'm going to hit apply now. Once it is loaded, you will see the first thing we see is that we have the option to pick our card design. As I said earlier, I'm going to select the new white gold design over the gold and rose gold options. The next section of the application, we have to put all of our personal information like our name, date of birth, email address, phone number, address, and social security. So I'm going to really quick put all my personal information in, and then I'll be right back. Now that we've filled out that section, we also see this option down here that asks if you have any American Express account or card history internationally, which can help with the application process. However, this doesn't apply to me, so I'm not going to click that. Finally, it asks for our total annual income and our non-taxable income if you want to put that in. And if you're curious about what they define either of these as, there is a little blurb here that you can pause and take a look at. And then finally, the last question is, what is your source of income? And for me, I'm employed, so I'll select that option, but there are options for all other sorts of situations. Now we hit continue terms, and once it pulls up, as you can see, this pulls up all the terms and conditions, including the APR rate, so make sure to take a careful look, but also, this shouldn't matter as I always plan on paying off my balance in full every month. And with that, finally, I'm going to hit agree and submit application. Actually, after hitting that, it now pops up a question if I want to add any authorized users, which I don't want to, but if you had a spouse or somebody in mind, you can add them here. Because I don't, I'm going to hit agree and submit, and let's see what it says. Just like that, we have a quick approval. It says, good news, Mitchell, you're approved. There's been no impact to your credit score up until this point. However, once I do accept the card, there will be a hard pull on my credit report. So let's do it, accept the card, and it looks like my delivery date for my card is August 5th. And even though I expected to be accepted, it's still a nice relief to see the actual acceptance and everything go through. And so with that, I hope you enjoyed learning more about this card and the application process, and please consider liking and subscribing to grow the channel. And let me know your thoughts in the comments below, what you think about the card, as I'm sure there will be people on both ends of the spectrum. Thank you very much for watching.